Time to settle once and for all what in fact Saltburn is actually critiquing. I'm gonna do it. A lot of people think Saltburn was not a good movie. They say that it's cheap, that it's a copy, that the story's not that interesting, the story's not that original. And I loved the film, but I don't disagree with some of the critiques, and I believe they are purposeful. Let me explain. At its core, Saltburn is a story about, spoiler warning, at its core, Saltburn is a story about a sociopath who envies a certain lifestyle, perhaps feels that the people who are currently in power don't deserve that lifestyle, and what does he do? He outsmarts them and therefore inherits and gets the lifestyle himself that he sees himself more deserving of, evident in the spoiled dog sleeping belly up line. That's not that unique of a story. Like, if we're being honest, there are lots of stories that mirror this same exact sort of formula. What makes Saltburn incredible is the storytelling and the aesthetics. The attention to detail in all of the shots are evident of somebody who is classically trained, who understands art history, cinema history. Every shot is a visual feast. The writing is good. The dialogue is all purposeful. We've taken a story that on its own would have been just pedestrian and really elevated it immensely. And that's why I think the style of storytelling in Saltburn, the style of the cinematography, the style of the writing, in itself is a character. It's telling a story. Let me explain. What is Saltburn? The estate. It is a beautiful, aesthetically amazing place full of dull people who without Saltburn would honestly not be much. For a lot of the movie, they're not even that interested in what Saltburn has to offer. And let me explain. We have a massive library filled with classic literature. Shakespeare's folios are pointed out. But what are Venetia, Farley, and Felix reading for the entire film? Harry Potter. Harry Potter is definitely pop literature. It's YA, middle grade YA. They're not reading classic literature. They're reading Harry Potter. They're not watching classic film. They're watching Superbad and The Ring. They're not listening to classical music. They're doing karaoke to pop hits. They have a pool, but they only swim in the pond. What we have are dull people who know about art and are able to talk about it, but have no real interest in it themselves beyond the value that they get from it in posh conversation. And so like in the film, the people are elevated by Saltburn to seem better than they are. The actual creation of the film mirrors this. We have a story that's been told lots of times. There's nothing that unique about it, but it's elevated by the high level of aesthetics and storytelling. So the story of the film and the actual stylizing of the film, I believe, is a statement on the use of aesthetics. And I'm going to read something I wrote here. The style of the film is a statement on the use of aesthetics, art knowledge, and appearance to elevate people who, without those things, are just regular people. It can't just be the money that separates them. It has to be some sort of knowledge or intellect. But is it? And this, I think, is the key element of Oliver. Oliver doesn't defeat them with brute force. He doesn't defeat them by just going on some rampage. He defeats them intellectually. He supersedes their knowledge of Saltburn. He understands art history. He understands all of these movements. And Oliver doesn't steal their money. He gets them to give him their money. He outsmarts them. He beats them at the one thing that they think positions them above everybody else, and it's not their money. It's their intellect and their posh sensibilities, their perception. So while I will agree with anybody who says that the plot of Saltburn is not that original, I would disagree immensely with anybody who tries to tell me the film isn't masterfully crafted and that the simplicity of its plot is purposeful.